Hello folks, pleased to see you. My name's Vic Gilgers and today I'm going to talk about receiving a wonderful life, and I did this because it helps me and I really hope it helps you. It should do. It's mainly today's podcast is about inspiring you, showing you ways of receiving a wonderful life. And to start with, I want to read through a story, what I wrote. So I'll get on with it now to set the scene for what I'm going to talk about. So if you'll just indulge me a little bit while I read this story to you, the one that I wrote. Anya was a seeker of the ultimate truths behind life, and had heard these truths were known by a small sect of monks who lived atop a sacred mountain in central India. She consulted travel experts and found the exact location was in the Vindhya range of mountains and ridges in west central India. It took Anya many weeks to get there, but finally she arrived at the foot of the mountain ridge, intent on walking the ancient tracks which led to the monastery. How exciting. It was a hot, tiring, steep walk, but finally she arrived at the entrance of the monastery, wherein it was said these wise monks resided. In she walked to find herself inside a great hall, and then she gasped at the sight before her. Sat around a huge round table were 7 monks in garbs and hoods. She was shaken by this and so excited that she garbled out some form of greeting, but no reply was given. In fact, no one moved, and that's when she bravely decided to move up to the monk nearest her. In shock, she recoiled. It was a grotesque sight. The monk's garb contained nothing but the frame of a dummy. All the others were just the same. That is when she noticed a small manuscript placed in the middle of the table. She hoped it had been left there to explain the bizarre situation she saw before her. Leaning over, she picked up the manuscript and in reading it found the answer to her quest for the ultimate truths. It read. So she's trying to find out the secret to life, I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, this is what the note said left by the monks. We left here long ago, not wanting to any more encourage seekers to believe we know the secret of the ultimate truths behind life. We know what it is for ourselves, but not for you. We leave this message to direct you to look inside of yourself. That is the only place you will find what the truths behind life mean for you. It is about what you really want, what you love, and what fears and separateness you must move beyond. It is so because all lives are different, and your life's truths are unique to yourself. When you are open to these truths being within you and ask that the answers you seek come forth, they will. You own these truths. Be confident they will be shown to you. Isn't that a lovely story? I think so. I know. Well, I wrote it myself, but it is. And that's what I hope this is going to inspire you. What it's about is hopefully getting you out of the malaise of anxiety, depression, upsetness, a kind of a not looking forward to life but wanting to type of thing. To get out of that malaise, the main thing is well, I hope is that you can refer back to the story that I've just read. Is that you must remember or know or get to understand that we are all gifted to be able to receive a wonderful life. It's not a thing we have to work at. It's a thing that we need to understand, because with this understanding, with a raise in your consciousness, you will get this, hopefully. So this I'll start on consciousness, which is your awareness of what is going on, and getting some clarity. In other words, not believing what you see, or kind of, having a kind of a realization that what you are being conscious of is not your circumstances in your life, but your thoughts about your circumstances, because that's your reality. It is your reality, but it is not the truth. It is what you think. And we can think good or bad or indifferent. So that depends upon getting a clarity of what is real, starting with, say, perceptions. In other words, when we look through the lens, and I mean by that our thoughts around things, the lens in which we look at life can be can lead us onto a downward spiral if our perception of life is that it's not very good. But in actual fact, life it is what it is, and we've got it in us to develop in a way where things will just get better and better by looking at the way in which we view things. So I'll make a quote here by Hosea Ballou, who says, "Real happiness is cheap enough, yet how dearly we pay for its counterfeit." So think about that one. All the things that we do to chase after what we think is happiness, which can not, just give us the opposite, can give us misery. And in particular, a thing I've just been watching on the TV recently is a series, I think it's a BBC series called Gold. It's the bullion, the gold, I forget what they call it. It's about all this gang who got all this money, these bars of gold that they stole from a bank, and then trying to get it melted down and sold as gold to get money. And really, I think if every one of the gang had been asked afterwards, why did you do it? Did it bring you any happiness? They would have said just the opposite. So yes, real happiness is cheap enough, but how dearly do we pay for its counterfeit? So think of it, I do this, think of the counterfeit happiness things that I've chased in my life. So in trying to alter our perception, refine our perception to make it better, then I knew a lady once called Beating Drum. She's passed now, but she was one of the most exciting, although very old and very ill woman. She lived a life of wonder. She just thought and discussed just how this universe, life, atoms, really inspired her to be interested in life and to enjoy life, because she could see clearly that there was something beyond what was right in front of us. Sometimes we don't focus on the wonder of things, we focus on the crap of life and perhaps our low self-worth and things like that, and our things that have gone wrong, what have you. So that focus of wonder, of wonderment, that, even understanding. The first time I went on a course in terms of this type of stuff was understanding what happiness is. I'd never, as an ex-engineer, I'd never really looked at what happiness was. And when you see what it is, and look at the amount of time during the week that you spend focusing on why you're here and the wonder of life and what is happiness, you start to change. It just starts to alter your psyche. And on that, it is important that or useful that you focus on your purpose in life. What fulfills you? What inspires you? And ask yourself that question. What do you love to do? Now, some of the answers may be, well, I'm very busy, well, the rest of it, but I know, and I've done this myself. My father did it. Although my father had a full-time job, he pursued his interests in life after work and really got out of a lot of what he did. My dad was in clubland, for example, although during the day he was a driver. And I've always pursued, even when I was on the shop floor, busy all day long, I still pursued mind, body, spirit issues because I thought the answer, and it has paid off, is in looking at being happier, examining my feelings, looking at what could help me do this, and reading on that material, looking at these type of videos. So, your purpose, it is, it is what inspires you, and that's why I think the word does come from spirit, is when you are in spirit, you are really in touch with what is. So, another thing where you could reframe in terms of perception is forgiveness, where to forgive is to let go, letting go of anger, resentment, grievances, wanting revenge, and that just kills you slowly. It doesn't affect the others. They might not even know about it. So, realizing that is killing you, not them. Looking at what forgiveness really means, it is a gift. It is a divine gift that we can just let go of all that. It's all in our mind. Now, this is where, so I've talked about our revising, looking at what thoughts do, that, they're our kind of take on life, looking at how we can raise our consciousness around how we go about things, as regards having a purpose, regards the issue of forgiveness. And what can help us in this is a wiser intelligence. There is a wiser intelligence. There is a universal intelligence. It's there. You can call it God. It's spirit. It goes through us. It is us. It's in us. And it is a guide. It will always guide us. If the way to do this is to realize that when we open to it, it is there. And I could make, and I will make other podcasts where I've been given proof that spirit or universal intelligence is a guide, which has always helped me. Lots of examples. In other words, it's not been my intellect that has sorted it out. It's not been my particular way of doing things, coming from the way I think things should be done, because life has shown me that no matter what I do, life has guided me in a particular way. Sometimes the opposite of what I thought I should go in, but it's always worked out for me. It knows, and this is the whole thing about this podcast, is that this is personal to you. When you are guided, it is personal to you. It comes into your consciousness, your awareness, and it is to do with the unique you, because we are all unique and we receive that type of unique help. The portal to this, the way to get this, there's different ways to do this, but one is to have a quiet mind, to pay less and less attention to our thoughts, to go quiet to our thoughts, to not believe our thoughts, to let our thoughts step aside. When you are guided by spirit, you are guided by something stronger than intellect. In other words, you're guided by wisdom. You could call it gut feel, intuition, whatever you want. But when you go quiet to what your perception is, what your take on things are, and be open to what is, then you will receive that wisdom, and in terms of, it's hard to explain, a knowing. You just kind of, stuff pops into your mind, and it's to help you. It's specific to you, and it really does work. Try it. Just try it. So going quiet to all this other stuff in your mind. But what I'll finish on this. What I would say is that sometimes when we're enduring what we don't like, and all I can say about that is sometimes you have to go through the rough to get to what is correct, and perhaps that's the purpose of it. I don't know. But what I do know is that when the chips are down, and sometimes they are, and I know about that, believe me, divine help awaits you. It's always there to pick you off your backside and get you back into the ring. But this time you are not fighting with your hands tied. You're fighting with that divine help behind your back. It's always there to help you. It always has been. All you've got to do is be open to it. So I hope this podcast has inspired you a little bit. It all awaits you. Receiving a wonderful life is always there. Just look at life. Life is just wonderful. Thank you very much.